Well, if you've ever wanted to experience a movie where the entire cast and crew was high as a kite, just plastered off of nose candy and psychedelics, this movie's for you. Now, to say that Natural Born Killers is a unique looking film is a complete understatement. Oliver Stone decided to use an extreme amount of different cameras, from 8mm to 16mm to 35mm, even using Sony's Betacam cameras, along with a variety of different lenses, extreme filters, various frame rates, slow motion, black and white scenes, scenes bathed in one color, diffusion filters, various lighting conditions, some shots being intentionally blown out, or other shots intentionally soft focus. And we also have all those handful of projection shots, rotoscoping, and also animation. You name it, if it was available in 1993, Oliver Stone used it to the full in Natural Born Killers, forming a very hyper surrealism, giving a very distinctive and loud visual language to the film, but for good reason. And because of all this, Natural Born Killers just never really had the best of luck on home media, where scenes just never could be translated well from a theatrical look, which isn't really surprising given that all we had back in the day was analog CRT TVs. But now in 2023, Shout Factory has released Natural Born Killers in the 4K format, 4K UHD with a 4K restoration from the original camera negative, forming a native 4K DI that was given to them from Warner Brothers, and with the added benefits of HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading, and this was all supervised and approved by Oliver Stone. Alright, so let's dive into the world of Mickey and Mallory and see how this 4K UHD stacks up against the previous Blu-ray, and if it's really worth upgrading to. Natural Born Killers in 4K UHD is unbelievable how great this film finally looks. The higher 2160p resolution offers a more unique and much more faithful presentation, showcasing Robert Richardson's energetic and surreal cinematography to the max. The entire image also has a nice cleanup job, ridding any damage and debris that was caused from the negative sitting in storage for a number of years. But make no mistake here, just because the negative has been cleaned up, still all the original look of the film with all the intended imperfections added by Oliver Stone are still here and maintained. Nothing's been changed in that direction. The color reproduction is a major leap forward, along with also corrected colors, such as with the pharmacy sign as you can see here. It's no longer bathed in green, but it looks like how it should. The HDR and Dolby Vision really opens up the color gamut in a huge way, creating stunning and vibrant colors from all the various types of candy apple reds to deep crimson blood reds to bold energetic reds, looking more solid, richer, and smoother. The pharmacy scene is a prime example of this. The entire scene is just bathed in a deep neon type green, and it looks spectacular. And also everything in this green is also clearly visible. Or the scenes while Mickey's being interviewed, he's bathed in a natural deeper blue. Another nice example is with the sun-baked landscape of New Mexico with the HDR and Dolby Vision really bringing out all those nice looking browns and orange hues. Highlights are also on point here, toning down some of those extra hot spots that was not intentional, but also with the intended light from forced spotlights especially are handled much better here. Saturation is increased, allowing the image to look healthier and more lifelike with a warmer color palette without the saturation looking artificially boosted or too hot. Also, skin tones are warmer, while on the Blu-ray skin tones were pale or muted. Black levels are also a huge improvement here. They're on point. No more bright or grayish black levels that we saw from all previous releases, including 2009 Blu-ray. Now the black levels are looking deeper, richer, inky blacks, and excellent richer shadows, drawing out much more information within the details and colors, even in the darkest corners. And nighttime shots are also looking more naturally nighttime, giving a more authentic, lifelike look to the image. And now we're going to dig into all those details, visuals, and texturals that are in an incredible abundance in this film. The Blu-ray looked very soft in a lot of areas, looking blurry and even little depth that was not intended by Oliver Stone. In fact, the image looked pretty flat most of the time. Now the 4K UHD brings out a stunning level of details that matches the type of scene or frame perfectly. The prison riot sequence is a huge example here, a big reference point. It looks sharper and clearer, showing all the bloody, gritty detail in all its glory with all the carnage, such as blood smeared over walls, the blood-soaked clothes and bodies. A great example here is the scene where Mallory shoots Robert Downey Jr. in the hand. I mean, come on, look at that. The wound is clearly much more defined here, and we can see Tommy Lee Jones clearly through the bullet hole. And these are just a small handful of shots and scenes with this improvement. You can literally pick any scene from the film and it's immediately impressive. The depth and three-dimensionality on this 4K UHD is excellent, giving a truer, more authentic, lifelike experience. With either close-ups or wide shots, it's all sustained with constant depth and visuals clearly visible from any camera direction. The scene while Mickey Mallory on the bridge, you can definitely see more spaciousness and depth from up above, down below into the ravine. The bitrate ranges from 83 topping out around 110 Mbps. The grain field is also interesting, since we have various shots from cameras in the 90s with 35mm, 8mm to 16mm. The grain structure can be a little tricky, but the grain structure is much more better resolved here than I've ever seen it before, with a grain level that matches the environment of which camera was shot for which scene. It's a dramatic improvement over the Blu-ray. And you can clearly tell Oliver Stone kept this 4K UHD very faithful to its theatrical presentation. Alright, now we're going to get into the audio presentation of this 4K UHD disc, and unfortunately, I was disappointed there was no Amos track with this one, which would have been great to fully utilize the film's soundtrack. What we do have here is, I believe it's the same DTS 5.1 lossless track as we had on the Blu-ray. Alright, so my score for Chat Factory's 4K UHD presentation of Natural Born Killers, I'm giving the video a 5 out of 5. This is just an incredible video presentation. As for the audio, I have to knock it down a peg to 4 out of 5. Alright, but now here is the true test. I want to hear from you. When you look at the differences here between the two formats, the 4K UHD and the 2009 Blu-ray, which do you think looks better? Head over to the comment section and let me know. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here as we talk about and compare the 4K UHD to the Blu-ray of Natural Born Killers. As always, keep physical media alive, and I'll see you next time.